or the tidbits inside. But in this next topic, Tesla is now offering 3.99% financing on certain models. So we'll talk about that because that is pretty huge, pretty massive. So we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about, of course, which models are exactly being it offered on. And this is big because not even the credit unions, I mean, the credit unions are a little bit lower than that, and you can get as low as 2.99, but to easily get 3.99 from Tesla themselves, that's going to be pretty good if it can trickle down to all models. So if we're going to talk about that, but if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description if you want to support the channel and get access to the ultimate Tesla buying guide with all the credit unions and banks that all have interest rates lower than Tesla financing as of now. So definitely check it out. Link down below in the description. But let us get into this. So shout out to Sawyer Merritt. Tesla has increased the price of the Model S and Model X prices by $1,000. And Tesla now also says on the order page, finance your new Tesla for as low as 3.99%. So if we take a look at the Tesla page, because, we've got to triple verify it and see for ourselves if we go to the Model X, because we just bought a Model X, right? So I'm feeling all the pain about anybody else that has just purchased a Tesla and all these different things are happening, but we kind of knew this was going to happen. You can see right here on the page, 3.99%. for all the way up to 72 months. Massive. This is good. So what could be happening here? I mean, if we search down to any of the terms, it still stays at the same rates, but I'm really curious. Which bank is doing this through Tesla? Is it TD Bank? Because most recently we heard TD Bank was offering a slightly lower rate than Tesla posted on the websites. Is it Wells Fargo, Chase? And the really interesting thing with this is, like, usually banks do not like financing vehicles of this caliber, of this price range. They kind of get antsy after like the 70, 80, maybe even $90,000 price range. And to see that a Tesla is showing a lower rate, lower than the Model 3 and the Model Y, because still on the Model 3 and the Model Y, we're still in a higher rate of 5.59% right here in the middle of the screen. And so to show that on the Model S and the Model X, you can now get 3.99%. What could be going on here? And I kind of have an inkling of what could be going on here, and we'll talk about it in a second. But and it kind of goes in hand with this most recent price increase. But 3.99% is pretty massive. That is a better rate than most rates. I would say the average rate of when you apply for a loan right now is 5 to 6, maybe even 7%. And so to show a 3.99%, that's almost as low as the credit unions. You can get credit union rates as low as 3.7 to 2.99%, but to get 3.99% through Tesla financing, that is very nice. And I mean, that's a very easy process, right? To get through Tesla financing and not have to worry about any sort of outside loan. And so what could be happening here is, I don't know if you all are familiar with the term rate buy down, but basically what's going on is if you finance a certain product, you can actually pay up a front ahead with like an extra fee, maybe $5,000, $10,000, and that what you'll do is you give that money to the bank and then they give you a lower subsidized interest rate. So I'm not sure if Tesla could be doing that. Most likely they are. And maybe there is much more profit margin in a Tesla Model X and Model S vehicle than we have suspected before. So it could be as Tesla has increased the price of the vehicle, the Model S and the Model X. I mean, they did it pretty recently. Model X went up $3,000 in total, and then so did the Model S, give or take. And so they could be using these funds, whatever, $2,000 to $3,000 on top of whatever margin they had before to subsidize an interest rate, because they know that buyers in this caliber, Model S and Model X, they really care about the using loan money and getting a lower interest rate, and they're never really going to pay cash anyways for these vehicles. And so, or maybe the majority of them, I'm just kind of talking in generalities, so I have no idea, but it's very interesting stuff that the Model S and the Model X have a lower subsidized rate to 3.99. And so this is good news because I mean, the Model 3 and the Model Y don't have that subsidized rate yet, but it is good to show that it is in their wheelhouse for Tesla to show a lower subsidized rate. And this could be coming very, very, very soon for the Model 3 and Model Y. Tesla is most likely just testing this right now with the Model S and the Model X, just like how they're testing a bunch of other financing incentives and products and terms across all the different countries in the world. We talk about how Spain has like a 120-month financing. Another country in EU has 1.99% financing. So Tesla is trying to push and figure out how they can make their vehicles more affordable. And there's plenty of ways to do that, whether it's incentives, lower prices, or lower interest rates at the end of the day. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. It's exciting to see, that's for sure, that the Model S and the Model X have a lower 3.99% rate. And let me know, are you trying to take advantage of that rate? Are you trying to get a Model S or Model X? Definitely some pretty interesting stuff, but there is ways to get lower than the posted 3.99%. I mean, maybe not that much lower. I mean, there's definitely also ways to get much lower than 5.59%. And how you can do that is actually at the Patreon link down below in the description, my Patreon link. And that's where this video is actually sponsored by. Down below in the description is a Patreon link where you can support the channel. And there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me, where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. And after you join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which is the ultimate Tesla buying guide out there that has links to all the interest rates and credit unions and banks that have lower interest rates than Tesla's financing, lower than this 5.59%, some even as low as 3.74 to 2.99%. So definitely check it out. Link down below.